we're back here in the studio talking with April Akins from the town of Hilton Head Island in the Revenue Services Business Department. Fun stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And before our first segment, we were starting to break down this new Act 176, how it's going to actually impact the business owners. And you started to talk about a few things, but there's a long list. So let's pick back up where we were and how are some ways these business owners are going to be seeing some changes?
Okay. One of the items that's mandated in Act 176 is that all businesses are classified in the same way across the state. And those business license classifications, if you will be used by, will be assigned North American Industry Classification System
Ooh,
codes.
sounds difficult.
Right. And they're also known as NAICS codes. So basically across the state, everyone will have or should have the same NAICS code assignment to their business, where before it was very different. With that being said, there's also a standard class schedule that they will be assigned, and this is again mandated by the state. So everyone who has a type of business that's in a business classification code will have the same class schedule across the state. The class schedule is actually tied to their tax rate. So right now, as an example, the town of Hilton Head Island is having to reclassify businesses based on where they are now and then put them into the mandated state classifications.
Let me ask you about reclassification. What
Yes.
are the terms for reclassifying? Share what that means.
Yes. Okay, so a business comes in and they're a landscaper,
Okay.
and there's a very specific code that classifies them with the NAICS code, and that's assigned to the business. That NAICS code is tied to a very specific class schedule that's mandated by the state. So let's say they are in a class 4. So they have the same NAICS code, same business classification. They also have the same class schedule, which will be the 4 across the state. So they know this going into any municipality to apply for a business license. The actual tax rates are set locally by any of our jurisdictions. So their rate will not be, their class schedule will be the same, but their tax rate may not be the same because those are mandated and set by councils based on what's required for the revenue in the operations of the town.
How will you notify the businesses of all these changes? There's so much to absorb and learn that the business owner watching might be like, oh my goodness, how am I going to know how this affects me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as an example, about 40% of the businesses in the town of Hilton Head are going to have to be reclassified. So there's a large group of people out there that will see a change in their rates. Because they're being moved from one class to another based on what the state is requiring. We are sending out notifications to the business owners. I have been working on public workshops and public information sessions. We have done video messaging. I have a special...
That's why we're here today.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I have a special portal set up on our town website, very specific to this, with lots of materials that you can download and print or you can share with others. I have done several presentations, and that is recorded as well. I've sent that out. It's a YouTube link. I've sent that out. So we're trying our best to get the information out because it is a lot, and it covers a lot of ground.
Absolutely. It's got to. I bet some of the business owners are thinking, maybe a little bit anxious to know how this is going to affect them and so forth. So if you are one of those, April mentioned a lot of things that you can do to sort of get some information until it goes into effect. So we talked about some of the things, how it's going to impact businesses. Is there anything else you want to share about that?
Yeah, so one of the big components of this law is that every person who owns and rents a property here on Hilton Head will now require a business license. We had
As in real estate?
Yes.
Oh, that is a huge change.
It's
so
very
if you're
big.
a landlord and you're renting out your condo, this now requires a business license.
Yes.
Okay.
So before, we had a 1-unit exemption. So anyone who had one property and they were renting here, they were not required to have a business license, and that will no longer be the case.
Big change.
Big
Yeah.
change, very big change
Yeah.
for our property owners. We've been working very closely with our property management companies, and they're already sending the information out to their property owners, and we're already taking in applications to prepare for next year. The tax law will be based on effective January 1 of 2022. So we have a lot of applications that are going to be coming in. I assume that's going to be around 6,000 or 7,000 new accounts,
Wow.
because those are the property owners that will need to have a business license.
Yeah, I think that's a segment of this that's probably going to capture the most interest and the
Yes,
most attention.
absolutely.
So we're not going to leave it with that. We're going to pick back up with April. So stay right here. We'll be back with more 843 TV.